All roads lead to Hollywood Bets Greyville on this lovely Saturday afternoon. Certainly looking forward to the racing that will be coming through from KwaZulu-Natal. Just another reminder about our social media. The strap's up on your screen. Please pop us a message. We're all about trying to improve the product. Obviously, we're here to tip you a few winners, but we'd love to hear from you. So you've got all that information up on your screen. Okay, so we're going to dive straight into it. Race number 2 kicks off today's Bipot. I'm sure that pool's going to be a big one. Just having a look at this race, 11:40, so an early start for this Bipot. 1,200 meters will be the trip, and the favourites number 10. This is what it means at 2-1. 3 Dr. Faustus at 3-1, and it's 8-1 and better bar those. Darren, what can you tell us? I mean, lovely run first time out from this horse. This is what it means. Peter Muscat, a man that's in good form at the moment. Is this the one you're going with?
Definitely, Brandon. This is probably my best bet on the card. A pity about the 10 draw. If he can overcome it, sit one off the fence, that turn of foot that he showed on debut, he's really going to love the step up to 1,200. And if he has luck in running, I think he'll be mowing them down. I think he could be a serious horse in the making. Dr. Faustus, fair debut behind Heirloom. He's got the draw in his favour. He should be competitive. And Winter Games, there was a lot of support for him on debut. He ran a bit below par.
Yeah, it does look to be a race where I think Peter Muscat's horse will find all the betting support closer to race time. Daryl, what do you like over here? I mean, we're touching on that first run. Impressive. Just the draw, but if they can beat the draw, big runner.
Must be a big runner, Brandon. I do believe he brings the strongest form line into the race. I mean, that winner is extremely highly regarded, and the third place filly. I've got one concern. He came into the straight on the outside. He finished up on the inside rail. He was hanging in badly towards the inside. That's my only concern. But he ought to have come on since that debut. Dr. Faustus, this was actually the stable companion to the fancied first-timer. He might have run above expectations. His brother is Dr. Doolittle. Now, he was a 1,800 meter, so he's going to love the extra and he'll go further in time to come. Must be respected. And Jury's out. 2 fair runs. I know he doesn't bring the strongest form into the race, but he's been gelded and could possibly be better than what he's shown today.
Yeah, I think we'll have to watch the money race time. Like I say, there's a few first-timers in the race that could also find some betting support. Let's go and see what we're doing in terms of selections over here. It is the first leg of the Bipot. I see Darren Burrows going 3, 5 and 10 in the first leg, by bank of 4, by 1 and 12, by 2 and 7, by 3, 8, 9 and 12, by 4, 8 and 9, and that's going to cost you 144 Rand. So that's Darren Burrows' Bipot. We'll update that to Daryl Marie's selection over here in terms of the Bipot. He's gone 3, 8 and 10 in the first leg, by 4 and 7, by 1 and 12, by 3 and 6, by 3 and 9, and banker 9 at the back, and that's only going to cost you 48 Rand. Early start to this Bipot. You need to be on before 11:40. First leg of the place accumulator is race number 3. It goes off at 12:15. The favourites number 4, Professor Lupin at 2-1. 7 Lincoln Navigators gone 5-2 in the markets, and the 5 Raff's Rocket at 6-1. At 7-1 and better bar those. Darren, this was Professor Lupin. I was super impressed first time out. Surely today going to be a massive runner.
Massive runner, Brandon. I thought that was a good debut. I thought he was a bit unlucky not to get closer. That form line I'm concerned about, because the 2 horses that ran ahead of him disappointed terribly next time out. The horse that ran behind him, though, ran a good third after that. So that's the only concern, that form line. But on that debut performance, I think he's definitely the horse to beat. I'm favouring him over Lincoln Navigator, the Highveld Raider. I think he's a little bit limited. Of the first-timers, Raff's Rocket and Cosmic Rhythm.
Yeah, I'm just having a look. I mean, there's obviously a few well-bred first-timers. I'll be very interested to see if there's any money race time for Raff's Rocket. Keegan DeMello gets the ride for Dean Cannemare. Daryl, I was obviously chatting to a good friend and colleague of yours overnight. Nino Podesta, a man that's in good form at the moment. Obviously, he's doing very well in that Hollywood Bets Challenge. And we're just chatting how good Richard Fourie is. I mean, What a good man he is, gentleman, top rider. This horse got to be the horse they all need to beat.
Yeah, I was impressed with his debut. I watched the replay again. He should have got closer, but that form line also concerns me, as it does with Darren. Several horses that were contesting that race had shown very little to date, but he's open to plenty improvement. He's well related, certainly got lots of scope for improvement, Brandon. When I opened the book, I said no, I'm favouring him head and shoulders above Lincoln Navigator. But then I looked again, Lincoln Navigator, last time out they bounced him and they used him early. And if that's the case on Saturday at Greyville, if he gets first run on the favourite, Professor Lupin, and Professor Lupin is green once again around the bend, I can see Lincoln Navigator holding him off. In time to come, I think Professor Lupin will be a much better horse. But I have healthy respect for Lincoln Navigator on Saturday. Form line hasn't really been frank. Just Var ran third. I don't know about that form line. But the horse that ran 6 lengths behind him, something the Logans, meet the Logans or something, for Tony Peter, they came out and ran second. So for me, I'm just going to put them both in 4 and 7 to fight it out. Respect for any money, respect for the first timers. I mean, Raf's Rocket, if he's supported, I'd say yes, he can make a winning debut.
I think race time, we need to watch this horse, Raf's Rocket. Very well bred individual, and I have no doubt that there will obviously be some supporters of this individual. Let's go and see what we're doing in terms of the PA. Darren Burrows gone banker 4, Professor Lupin in the first leg by 1 and 12, by 2 and 7, by 3, 8, 9, 12, by 4, 8 and 9, by banker 8 in leg 6, by 1, 4, 8 and 10. Spend is 192 Rand. We'll update that slide. Let's see what Daryl Marie likes in the PA. He's gone 4 and 7 in the first leg, by 1 and 12, by 3 and 6, by 3 and 9, by banker 9, by banker 8, by 2, 3 and 7, and that's only going to cost you 48 Rand. You need to be on by 12:15. Now this is the bet we want to catch on the Saturday afternoon, the pick 6. It all starts now in race number 4, and I see number 1, Mashavi's your 14 to 10 favourite. Richard Fourier's been booked to ride for Stuart Pettigrew. Number 12, Sign of Fate at 3 to 1, and it's 17 to 2 and better bar those. Darren, are you going to take the stance and banker this horse Mashavi in the first leg of the pick 6, or do you think it's more open?
I thought between 2 runners, Miss Shavi and Sign of Fate. Now, I can tell you, Sign of Fate ran a crack-on debut over 1,100 meters, and she was suggesting to me that she's looking for the bend. They brought her back in trip and ran second to Hot Pearl. She just hit a flat spot, and she battled to gather her stride. I think the 14 is going to be ideal. If she wasn't drawn out at 12, I would have probably bankered her. But I'll make the danger the high-fault raider, Miss Shavi, on that good third behind Soldier's Eye over the 1450. So 12 to beat 1 and follow the market with regards to number 14, Winter Frolic.
Yeah, I think Darren's pretty much summed it up over there. Go to Daryl Marie and see what he likes. Miss Shavi, a combination that we need to respect, Daryl. Richard Fourier and Stewie Pettigrew. They've obviously raided Durban already with a bit of success. What are you expecting?
Yeah, last time out it was a moderate effort. I know she was slightly bolt going through the 400, excuse me, Brandon. We saw Cullinan Blue. She came out and ran 4th in the nursery. The second place runner was Miss Greenlight, who could be very useful. On form, she's actually run with Commission's Passion, and Commission's Passion's beaten her. So there's not much separating the two of them. Commission's Passion doesn't finish her races off. That's a concern. So I'm also leaning towards number 12 over here, Sign of Fate. I've been very impressed with her 2 starts to date. I thought coming back to 1,000 was a negative. It was going to make her task very difficult last time out. Hot Pearl came out and ran second to Winter Cloud. Jason Gates isn't the type of jockey who sticks around. He gets him, he's aggressive out the pens, gets him into a good position. So I see the false rail is out 6 meters, means they could potentially fan across the field, across the track. So 1 in 12 to fight it out. They're lightly raced juveniles. It's hard to pinpoint one of them. So just play the safe route. I think we'll get through.
Yeah, I think Darren have summed it up. I don't think we can see it any other way than that. So those are the 2 horses we're going to focus on in the first leg of the pick 6. Let's go and see what we're going to do with selections. 1 in 12. That's what we've discussed. I think let's go safe. Mishavi and of course 12 Sign of Fate. By 2 and 7 in the second leg. By 3, 5, 6, 8, 9 and 12. By 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 and 9. By 6 and 8. And then field at the back. If you want to take 10%, it's going to cost you 288 Rand. Hopefully by this time you've actually got a bit more money to spend. Let's hope the first 3 races have treated you well. But the pick 6, the pool's going to be a biggie. Beyond by 12.50. First leg is over 1400 meters. So we're on to race number 5. It is the first jackpot this afternoon, and just having a look, you need to be on by 13.25. That's the off time of race number 5. Just another reminder about that social media platform. There's so many different ways that you can pop us a message. Hopefully by this time you're still running strong in your bar pots, your PAs, your pick 6, and let's hope you got some cash to build into this first leg of jackpot 1. The market has Jade's Cabernet as your favorite at the moment, 22 to 10. It's Richard Ferry for Peter Muscat, number 7 She Can at 3 to 1, and it's 11 to 2 and better bar those. Darren, this horse last time out really moved into the race nicely. I think the winner is half decent. Today, can she go one better, Jade's Cabernet?
She's one to include, but not for me, because she goes for 800 meters and she doesn't find extra. Those form lines, I think, are a bit suspect. I like a horse called What Now My Girl at around 10 to 1. This horse over 1200 meters in the Cape, you could see that she needed the drop-in trip. And last time out, she was taken out at the start. Not a good ride. And she ran 3 lengths off Future Turn. We haven't seen her for a few months, but I can tell you this filly could come back with a bang over the 1,000 at Greybull from a good draw. I made the danger She Can. Now, on a penultimate start behind African Folklore over the 1,000 meters, I think she can be very competitive.
So Darren's not completely sold with the form lines of Jade's Cabernet. Let's see if Daryl Marie can help us a bit as well over here. What Now My Girl? Darren touched on the source. Big runner. I mean, Billy Jacobson, good to see him getting opportunities from different trainers. Jade's Cabernet, She Can. What do you like, Daryl?
Not much. What Now My Girl? There's a comment in the front of the computer form. Will need the run. It doesn't give you much confidence. Because not may need the run, will need the run. So, I don't know. I can't be bullish with a comment like that. On her best form, yes, she could be the one to beat. Jade's Cabernet, yeah, you got a moderate filly, but she's got Richard Farina on. She's racing fit. She's got a great draw. She's got early pace. So, there's a lot of things in her favour, although she lacks ability. Of the race runners, she must have a chance because the balance of the field are moderate themselves. Baby Love came to the track with positive comments. She ran a poor race. She can improve. Number 6, When Evening Comes. Now, yeah, you've got a filly that's been off for 3 months. Keegan DeMello rode her last time out. Her form's very average, but I watched that race. In that race, Brandon, she was just behind the likes of County Kildare, Carniska. The favourite represents that form, so there isn't much separating herself and the favourites on form. Keegan DeMello sticks with her. She was travelling very sweetly last time out on the poly track. Coming back in trip could be in her favour. She Can back in maiden company. I don't know. I went short. I'm not convinced I'm going to get through. I'm going to say When Evening Comes could possibly get it right in her third slot.
So nice value there if you follow when evening comes. Let's see what we're doing in terms of selections over here for the first jackpot. It starts now in race number 5. So we'll pop those selections up onto your screen in just a moment. 2 and 7 for Darren Burrows. So 2 and 7, that would be What Now Margell, and 7 She Can. By 3, 5, 6, 8, 9 and 12, by 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 and 9, by 6 and 8, and that's 144 rand spend. You need to be on at 13.25. Race 5 is over 1,000 meters. Great race, race number 6. It is the Independent on Saturday Drill All Stakes. It's a grade 2 over 1,400 meters, and the market at the moment has William Robertson as your joint favorite, 5-1. Pierre Straden been booked to ride for Cornet Spiss. Having a look at the 8 Trip of Fortune, 5-1. I see there's been even further money for Gimme a Prince, number 12 into 5-1, and it's 11-2 about Desert Miracle. You can get 7-1 and better bar those. Darren, what can you tell us? I mean, a great race. A lot of these horses are obviously using this race as a pipe opener for the rest of the season. William Robertson, fit horse. Is this going to be your selection?
Brandon, when a horse runs a week ago in a grade 1, he's had a tough race, and then a week later in a grade 2 race against hard knockers, I can't really fancy his chances. I fancy the filly Desert Miracle. As long as she breaks on terms, she's a course and distance winner. Her only run at Greyville, she won as a 2-year-old, beating her field by like 8 lengths, easing up at the line. I think this track and trip can suit. She's really got an electrifying turn of foot, and I make Desert Miracle definite value at 11-2. If you're looking past her, Give Me a Prince. He's a solid horse. He's one of the better sprint milers around. He's never been more than 1,400 meters, but he could be looking for the trip. He's drawn out deep. You got Trip of Fortune. He's got an electrifying turn of foot. He's best over 14 to 1,600. Al Mutana's not out of it off his rating. Safe Passage, probably a prep run. And Silvano's Dasher, he's out at the weight, but he's very effective over 1,400.
That's a wide open race. There are some horses that are coming into the event already had their preparations on the Highveld, so they'll probably go into this race not needing the run too much. And then on the other hand, there will be some horses that will need the run quite badly. We talk about Safe Passage. This will be a nice opener for him and the rest of the season. Daryl, great race. I mean, Trip of Fortune, I thought a very good win last time out. Desert Miracle, very good win. And I thought William Robertson ran with a lot of credit in the computer form sprint. I'm just worried about that 1 week backup.
Yeah, when I first saw the field, I thought he could be the right horse, but then sort of gone off his chances, Brandon. He's done extremely well over here. I mean, we all recall his second to Captain's Ransom in the Mercury over the Greyville circuit. My concern, he can be sluggish. From a 1 draw, he could be swamped, and he's going to find it very hard to pick it up. Desert Miracle, I thought her latest win was sensational. I mean, coming into the straight at the 600 meter mark, Craig Zaki was swinging onto her, and herself in Featherbow just lengthened clear of the balance of the field. I was super impressive. Yeah, you got a filly that's in the best form of her life, still improving in my opinion, electrifying turn of foot. She's got that experience at the course when she won the Golden Slipper, and she's most importantly very fit, whereas a few over here are having preps. So I'm favouring the filly too. I think Desert Miracle's the one to beat. I've just backed up with Al Mutana now. Have a look at him when he returns from a rest. This horse loves racing fresh. We know he's got the turn of foot and the class. He's best rated. Grant could actually get on well with him. And if they do fan across the course, expect him to be flying up late. So I've gone short. I'm not convinced I'm going to get through, but I'm really in Desert Miracle's camp.
That's a very good race on paper. I think many of the viewers will be watching this race intensely because for the rest of the season, it's going to be a big pointer. Let's see what we're doing in terms of selections over here. Pick 3 for Daryl Marie, 3 and 9 in the first leg. So he's gone Desert Miracle and Al Mutana. Then by Banker 9 in the next race, by 6 and 8 in that third leg. So 3 and 9, by 6 and 8, and it'll only cost you R4. You can take it a few times. This particular race, being the Drill All Stakes, gets underway at 2:05, and it's over 1,400 meters. We're on to race number 7. It's the World Sports Betting Fillies Guineas. It's a grade 2 over 1,600 meters. And great race again. Just having a look at the market. Number 9, Golden Hostess, 18-10. It's Aldo Derma for Candice Bass Robinson. Number 4, Lady of Power, 5-1. And it's 11-2 and better bar those. Darren, what do you like over here? Super impressive last time out, Golden Hostess. And of course, Lady of Power might just appreciate that short straight out at Hollywood Bets Gravel.
Yes, Lady of Power for me, the value. If she goes to the front and Pierce Stratum slows the pace down and skips for home, she might be the horse to catch going through the 200. Golden Hostess won a cracker last time out. I thought with 60 kilos she had a bit to do, but she swooped on by. A mile is her limit, I think, because she moved up in the Fillies Guineas. She didn't quite round her race off. Her run in the Mallorca was good. Hold My Hand. Now, she's an interesting runner because she's got all the ability in the world. I thought disappointing last time out. I expected more. Others to consider, Captain Peg, Sarki, Shantastic, all got chances. But I think Lady of Power and Golden Hostess to fight it out.
Yeah, I think that was Shantastic. Also won a great race last time out. I think she'll be very effective through champion season. She'll have some nice races, and let's see how she goes over here. Daryl, what do you like over here? I mean, Golden Hostess, super impressive last time out. Is this going to be your firm first choice?
Brent, I couldn't believe her latest victory. I thought it was unbelievable. Have a look at the best weighted column. She's 10 pounds or 5 kilograms best in of year, ahead of Lady of Power. I think she's got an exceptional turn of foot, which will suit the gravel circuits. The only way I can see Lady of Power beating her is really if things go wrong for her. Not too concerned because the white raw, she tends to drop out and come with a very strong turn of foot. So I'm not concerned about her being drawn wide. Pierre Stratum is going to have to time this to a T, and he's capable of doing that. But I just believe Golden Hostess has got a much better turn of foot, so I'm expecting her to run Lady of Power down in the latter stages.
Yeah, there's been a bit of money. Golden Hostess, like we were touching on, super impressive last time out. And if she can bring that run to the races come Saturday afternoon, horse they all need to beat, no doubt. Let's go and see what we're doing in terms of selections over here. It is the 7th race. It's the World Sports Betting Fillies Guineas. We're going to bank a 9 in jackpot 2. So Daryl Marie's going to bank a Golden Hostess. Second leg 6 and 8 by field by 1 and 2. Only going to cost you R40. Maybe we can take this a few times and hope that our banker can see us through Golden Hostess. Bets need to be on at 14.43. Great race on paper. Don't miss it. We talk about great races, and I don't think it gets much better than this. Great to have Charles Dickens back at the race course, and he's going to have his followers, there's no doubt. He's your 7-20 favourite to win the World Sports Betting Guineas. Race number 8, it's over 1,600 metres. Number 6, Cousin Casey, 11-2. 2, See It Again, 12-1. And it's 14-1 and better bar those. Darren, what a race. I'd imagine you're firmly in the camp of Charles Dickens. Can he be beaten?
Brandon, in a pick 6, I went 6 and 8. Cousin Casey and Charles Dickens. Now, obviously, Cousin Casey, he's had the comeback run over a distance short of his best. He loves gravel. Charles Dickens, he's a star. Now, you could say he was a bit disappointing last time out, but he obviously didn't see out the 2,000 meters because he moved up strongly. And I thought his run in the Queen's Plate was a cracking effort, first run against older horses. So he's done absolutely nothing wrong. That acceleration he shows, he could run past them, just be slicing through the field and win hands down. But only because he hasn't had the comeback run, I thought Cousin Casey a nice cover, but Charles Dickens very hard to beat.
Yeah, I'd imagine he's going to be very hard to beat. Be interesting to see how his preparations obviously gone into the race. I did see he galloped the other day, and they seem to be very happy with that gallop. Daryl, what do you like over here? I mean, Charles Dickens, obvious choice. Is there anything we can take an exacta with?
Yeah, on ratings, he's certainly slung in over here. 4 kilograms besting. Brandon, you know, last time out, maybe the distance caught him out. Penultimate start, Aldo got off and he said he wasn't quite himself, and he ran second in the Queen's Plate. And he beat horses like Jack Dark in Comedy Ding, and he wasn't quite himself. So, you know what of high class he is. I mean, he is a champion. My only concern is it's his first run at Greyville, his first run since being rested. If there is ever going to be a chance for Cousin Casey to upstage him, it's going to be on Saturday, because he's had that run. I know he was very disappointing, but he's had that run. He's got the course experience. He's probably more racing fit going into this race. So I expect Charles Dickens, don't get me wrong, I expect him to win it, but I'm just saying, if there's ever a chance for Cousin Casey to get the bet on him, it could be on Saturday. And you know, bookies, these are the type of horses that give bookies that extra building while we Ubering to the racecourse and back, Brandon. That's why they've got estates, and the punters are on the back foot. So it's because of these type of horses getting beat. But let's hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I think Daryl Marie summed it up over there, and it's going to be a great race. There's absolutely no doubt of that. I mean, there's so much talent. Dave the King, See It Again, not forgetting Anfield's Rocket, who can run on his day, and then very interesting is Melek, right at the bottom end. Certainly a horse that they've got high expectations for in the silks of Johnny Finlayson. All right, let's go and see what we're doing in terms of selections over here. It's a great race to watch. Please don't miss it. You'll catch it on channel 240 at 15:21. It's over 1,600 meters. We've gone 6 and 8 in the first leg of the pick 3. This is Daryl Marie's pick 3 by field by 1 and 2. Only going to cost you 40 Rand, and it's the World Sports Betting Guineas. It's a grade 2 event, and on that note, a big thank you to Warren Tannis and his whole team at World Sports Betting for everything that they do for racing. We're on to race number 9, and race number 9 is the Independent on Saturday Arts and Pleasure Fillies and Mares 84 handicap. It's over 1,000 meters, very open. Our Emily is 9-2 in the market with a 2 Bon Bouche. I think that's how we say it. Bon Bouche 9-2. I see there's been money for Ancient Epic into 9-2, 5-1 about the 10 certainly, and 17-2 and better bar those. Darren, we need help over here. There's no doubt we need all the help we can get, because it does look to be a field race.
Well, I went the field in all my bets. I thought very open. Now, Ancient Epic, she came back to best last time out. She's very good on her day. She only picked up a 1-point penalty, and she could follow up over course and distance once again. Now, our Emily, she's won, 4 in a row. She does over-race slightly in the early part, and you think she's going to fall in a hole, and she just finds another gear. So, I mean, she's got to be competitive with a handy galloping weight. Her stable companion, Isn't She Bonnie, loved the drop back to 1,000 meters. She was a hands-down winner by 5 1/4 lengths. You got Sweet Symphony, only a length and a half to make up on Ancient Epic. You've got Certainly, that was a cracking effort behind our Emily last time out, and Keegan de Mello takes the ride. Stingray's not out of it. So I thought 7 runners had a chance here.
I think you've got to go field. There's no doubt you've probably got to go field in your exotics to make sure that you survive. The quartets are going to pay money. Daryl, you're probably reading the same sort of page as I am. Not an easy race.
Yeah, a field race, Brandon. Can't say much of here. Bon Bouche. I think this track and trip could suit her. It's her first time on the Greyville turf surface. She's obviously picked up a few penalties for running consistently well, but she's got that early toe. If she can get away from them, she could notch up another victory. Surprised to see Rachel on number 1, Emily, because Isn't She Bonnie, I thought won extremely well. I know the the field that she beat was very shallow, but I thought she did it in quite some style. I thought she's more progressive or open to more improvement than Emily, who is just narrowly getting her head in front. I can't see her being 5 or 10 pounds ahead of the handicapper at this stage of her career, whereas Shibani could be. So interesting. Just she needs to behave because she's very troublesome beyond the pens. Stingray gets into her races very, very late. She'll be doing her best work late. If she can get there in time, it remains to be seen. Field.
I think I agree with that. Quartets, swingers, trifectas, whatever you like over here, because I think you can make a case for everything in the race when it comes to this particular contest. Let's go and see what we're doing in terms of selections. Maybe you can use this as a guide. Daryl Marie, swinger box, 2, 3 and 7. So he likes a bit of 2 Bon Bouche. He's included the 3 Isn't She Bonnie and number 7 Stingray. 3 Rand is what it's going to cost you. Race number 9, the penultimate on today's 10 race program. You need to be on by 4 o'clock. The 10th and final race. Your market at the moment has number 2 Turpits as your 15-4 favourite. 1 Beyond the Boundary, 9-2. It's 8-1 number 8 Sequoia, and it's 11-1 in Better Bar those. Darren, what do you like in the Lucky Last? I know you've always been a big fan of this horse Beyond the Boundary. I'm just worried carrying a lot of pudding over here.
Yes, but Brandon, this horse, last time out, the 1800 caught him out. In his penultimate, the 14 was slightly too sharp when he held on by a short head. I think the track and trip is ideal for him. He's got the 1 draw in his favour. He's got Striker Stradum in the saddle. And even though he's carrying 62.5, with the scratching of Ross Kadesh, I think he's going to prove very hard to beat. And I made the danger Turpits.
Yeah, Beyond the Boundary. Always been of the opinion that he doesn't quite see out the 1800. I think a mile, Pierre being booked to ride. The only question mark would be the 62.5 kilograms. Otherwise, I'd be really confident that this is the horse they all need to beat. You can't really discount the chances of a horse like Sequoia either, Daryl. I mean, it's just one of those races where Beyond the Boundary or anything.
Yeah, Beyond the Boundary. I'm not worried about the weight personally, Brandon. He's earned his rating and he's consistently competitive. So Striker from a 1 draw in good form, racing fit, a lot in his favour. Turpits, now I'll be the first to admit that this horse has been disappointing because I've really expected him to by now at least notched up a good few wins. But he's by Silvano out of a Galileo mare, and he's now been stepped back up to a mile. If you go back to his latest start over a mile, he ran second behind Eye of the Tiger. Now that obviously makes his form read very well. I think if he can just get a slot in behind Striker, he could quicken past Beyond the Boundary because I think he's got a better turn of foot. He quickens up and then he tends to be found wanting in the latter stages. I'm sure Cabela will hold on to him. If things go his well, he could score his second career victory. So 1 and 2 to fight it out. It doesn't stop there. Sequoia, when Richard won on him, that was very impressive. But his last run has to be a concern. Obviously, he's better than that because Mr. Cox taken him there for this race in mind. So 1 and 2 to fight it out. Respect for Sequoia as my third pick.
Right, that's how we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much to Daryl Marie and thanks to Darren Burrows. A nice 10-race program on this Saturday afternoon. We hope that we've steered you in the right direction. Let's go and see what we're doing in terms of selections for the Lucky Last. Daryl Marie's gone with a swinger 1 and 2 over here. Beyond the Boundary and Turpits. If you want to take it 50 times, there we go. It's entirely up to you as to how much you want to spend. I think a lot determines what sort of afternoon we've had as to how much we can spend in the Lucky Last. All right, so that's it. Thanks to all our Weighted to Win fans. Thanks for watching. We'll chat again tomorrow for our meeting at the Big T.